Hello, everyone. This is Gabriel Lee with Projections for the Random Select podcast, the podcast where anyone and everyone has something to say and everyone has a story. Remember that the donate button is now live and is to the right of this video and on the right side of my channel. Today with me is Projections, a post prog rock, alt rock band from Panama City Beach, my hometown. Its members are Logan Conley, rhythm guitar and vocalist, Paige Parsley, lead guitarist, soon to be filled in by Chase Gilmore, lead guitarist, who's also with us here today, Wesley Protho, the drummer, and then Sailor Martin, the bassist. So I just listened to your guys' album yesterday and today again since it came out, and it's a really good album. I really enjoy it. I really like the way it like starts with Again, and you sort of have that like moment of silence, and then you hear the guitar like come in with this sort of like wobbly sound to it, and it's got this like breakdown pattern going on, and then the drums come in and the whole song just like evolves into the like ultimate rock feel, I guess. And I really like the dream-like sound that the guitar has through the whole album. It sort of reminds me of like Circus Survive, how they have that like sort of nightmarish sound to their sound influence and stuff. So was that an influence to why the guitar sounds that way, or was it other bands that have like a similar sort of dreamlike quality to their guitar?
Yeah, definitely Circa, one of like influence on us. I know most of us are decent sized Cody and Cambria fans.
Yeah,
Sound, and then I like a lot of like the really big like '80s guitar sounds. So a lot of that, over the top
yeah.
ambience makes its way in when we start writing like stuff.
Yeah, definitely really like that part of it. Another big thing that I liked was like the vocals, because it is an interesting like contrast from the heaviness of some of the instrumentals at times. Like there's a bit of an airy quality to what you got going on, Logan. Like uh it does have like a gruffness and a roughness to it, but it also feels like it is sort of more like hopping along with it rather than like trying to be weighted down, sort of how the instrumentals can be at times during the album. Is that like intentional, or is it something that just sort of happened naturally with how you sing?
It's kind of one of those things that just kind of came about with how the differences in our influences, because I'm kind of influenced more off of alternative rock, whereas they're more prog rock.
Yeah.
So kind of we just naturally bring that together. So that's why the vocals kind of do seem to contrast yet complement that.
Yeah, it definitely is a complimentary thing. So because you guys have like such different influences, because you've all I mean, you do listen to some of the same bands, and there's definitely overlap there, but I know that each of you have bands that you really like enjoy that is sort of unique to you. Like you, other people in the band also enjoy that band, but not nearly to the degree like that it may have influenced them in going to be a musician and things like that. So is that like a major influence on sort of why your sound is kind of experimental, or was it you wanted to have that sort of like broader sound, uh, like intentionally?
Well, the biggest thing we write, we try not to put ourselves in a box as much as we can. We try to leave everything kind of open. That's why, sometimes you might get like the second track, Vicious Cycle. It's kind of a very, very like poppy sort of feel throughout the entire song, and then goes into more of a bluesy style uh, um, kind of instrumental at the end going on. So we try, when we do that, we try to fuse all that together and just make it work however we can. And I think we get a lot of really cool parts with that. We're trying to like continue developing that with our writing now, and just seeing where we can go with that.
Okay. So what was it more improvisational when you were recording this album, or what was it kind of like planned out in a way?
Well, all the songs that are on the album we'd written and been playing, over the course of the first year and a half that we've been together.
Yeah.
Like How Ordinary Feels off the album was the first one he wrote, and you can definitely hear the difference between that song and then some of the later songs in the album, like Alone Amongst Friends and Illusions. It wasn't really improvisational when we were recording it. It was more of when we finally sat down with the songs that we were performing, and we're like, okay, how do we want them to, be finalized and be, put on the album? It was more of just cleaning stuff up.
Yeah. Because you guys never really played a whole lot of
solidifying things as opposed to let's try to make. Not really, but we're working on some.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is that your album definitely naturally evolved just from the fact that you guys were like from the get-go playing like that original music and really trying to do that, which is like a big deal on the local scene because I mean, even bands that do like a whole lot of original work usually still have like a cover in there just to like have something to grab attention really easily. So it was pretty cool like seeing that first show at A&M and stuff, and you guys just pretty much all playing original pieces. That was really cool. You used to be called It's a Trap, and you may see where I'm going with this, but an illusion or a projection is an illusion technically. So there is some like thematic similarity between the title of the album and the name of the band. If you had stayed It's a Trap, would the album still be called Illusions, or would it be called something else?
Probably be something wildly different. Because when we had our original name, we were doing It's a Trap. It was more of a, okay, we can't agree on anything, but this will at least get us some attention. Like people will be like, especially in the scene that we're playing in, where it's a lot of very experimental stuff. Yeah, a band with an intriguing name will usually catch someone's attention.
Yeah, for sure.
And, they might come out and check out. Is this gonna be is it gonna be like a electronic band, or like is their music gonna be about Star Wars or something?
There's a lot of people that thought all of our songs are gonna be Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that thought all of our songs are gonna be Star Wars, but I don't know. I can't even imagine what it would be named if it was. If it's a trap.
Yeah.
Akbar guidance.
Yeah, that's what my mind went to. Is I thought you guys would have had it be like Admiral Akbar or something. But going off like the thematicism of Illusions and like the album as a whole, there's a whole lot of in the theme of it, like 2020 hindsight vision. Like just looking at the past and seeing it as better, or looking at the future and sort of asking why me, a whole lot of like repeating the same mistakes over and over again, and like that just being like a cycle of life. Is that really what was being said more or less, or am I like reading into it?
I mean, at the time, the first album didn't really have a lot of direction. It was kind of just a lot of songs that we'd been playing for a while, kind of wrote. And then eventually, once we decided to do an album, I mean, we did realize that there wasn't a lot of, a story being told across the album.
Continuity.
Yeah. So,
But even without the continuity, like the emotions and stuff that the album's touching on are things like that. Okay, yeah. That's what
you pretty much hit it on the head. A lot of the songs that like we wrote that were written the first album, Logan did a lot of like the lyrical content. So a lot of it was like retrospective thinking and like looking back on previous occurrences and stuff that have happened.
Just drawing on life experience.
Yeah, drawing on life experience, which, and anytime you're doing that, it's going to be about, right thing, is this a good thing, like kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. On that note, and just because your influences, for all of the bands that like have been mentioned so far as influences, do have at least one album where they tell a story, and in the case of Coheed and Cambria, have a multi-album storyline going on. And just because you guys are so influenced by like fantasy stuff. Like we played D&D together. We really all enjoyed like Game of Thrones, Attack on Titan, Star Wars, the Elder Scrolls series, stuff like that. Are we ever going to see stuff like that, especially with just how like dreamlike the guitar work is and stuff? Is there going to be songs sort of influenced by the fantasy worlds that we all like hold dear, or not?
Yeah. Actually, the album that we're working on right now is it's definitely going to be a concept album that like is actually going to be like a not fantasy, but it is going to be kind of like science fiction. It's definitely going to be a work of fiction, as opposed and they'll have some continuity between all the parts.
Yeah,
like each song will be a aspect of a bigger story.
Yeah.
And right now we're just in the process of putting those songs together and then getting them recorded.
Is this album going to be like a self-contained story then, or is it maybe going to be putting up with
yeah.
Okay.
This one's going to be self-contained. When we were working on it and writing it, we were kind of drawing off an idea that we came up with for originally it was a music video that our friend Chris Jordan is working with us on right now. And we started talking about, hey, this, doing a bit of a storytelling video would be kind of neat. And then we started talking about it. And it's like, all right, well, we've got some new song ideas. What if we took that, made it a big story, and then wrote up the songs about it?
Yeah.
And then we decided that would be a really interesting way to go about it. And also it would take, it would be us branching off into something we'd never tried before.
Yeah.
And also it would mean that we'd have to start, instead of, taking and writing from life experience, it'd be trying to take and write from the perspective of another person. Yeah. Even though whenever you write, unless you're super careful, it's going to be autobiographical, to some degree.
Yeah. Even the furthest from autobiography, writing still touches on very distinct archetypes that exist in just about every story. I'm reading through The Hero with 1,000 Faces, and just when you look at stories and do comparative study of it, you just realize that the reason that the best stories really stick with people is because it follows those archetypes that everyone experiences, whether they view it as emotions or people that they encounter. So you were talking about the music video, which I wanted to ask about, but because you said the story part, will the album have a visual part, or is it just going to be one-off music video for one song?
The music video we're working on right now, we are still working on getting really in touch with people to be in it and all that stuff. That's going to be it's a video for the song Alone Amongst Friends.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of touching on the very first part of the story that we're trying to tell.
Yeah.
And then once the new album comes out, when we get done with the new album, it's going to be, you'll have some kind of idea after seeing that, okay, I can kind of see what's going on, but what's coming after that?
Yeah. Is there can we get a Comic-Con style little teaser of what is going to be going on in that music video, or is that under wraps?
We really haven't solidified the video very much. The story itself is kind of a... I don't know, I'm trying to think of a way to put it. It's more of our main... What? Groundhog Day. Well, not really Groundhog Day. No. It's a story about a guy who's going through his life, and stuff starts going bad for him. He starts having, troubles with family and stuff like that, and people he loves, and then depression, and then he, decides that he doesn't want to, he feels that his place in the world is doing more harm than good, and through some power that is out of this world, he is removed from reality into this way where he can see what's going on, but he can't interact with the world at all. And he goes through this whole experience where he sees like friends and family like going through life without him ever existing, and people he's stuff like that. And then it all comes to a conclusion in this big, theatrical, dramatic ending that we're still working on.
The way you described that, and it sort of diverged a little bit from what I was going to say. It reminded me of when you mentioned that it was as if he wasn't ever there. But that reminds me really thematically and conceptually of like Enter the Void, and how at the beginning of the movie we have the character, he gets shot, and then he views life in this external way, and seeing people that he knew through like flashbacks and real time as like a spirit figure that isn't really able to interact with the world, and he's viewing like these life interactions in a very detached way.
Yeah, that was definitely an inspiration for some of the just the ideas around writing the actual thematical pieces.
Yeah.
That and stuff like, it's slightly derivative of like It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
And stuff like, but it definitely has its own twists and turns that make it,
unique. Yeah. And definitely
it makes it unique its own.
Definitely like the concept of someone being in the afterlife and viewing life isn't new, but definitely I can see that you guys would have your own take on it, and sort of the way that you've already described it is definitely like a different approach than like the normal way to telling that sort of Orpheus through the underworld journey, or Virgil going through.
Yeah. And also the fact that it's being told, it's not being told in a direct way. It's being told in a very much a musical way, and the fact that it's being told in this piece by piece format. And also the fact that each song, it's not going to be like, for example, like a Bob Dylan song where it would be written, he's telling you exactly what's happening each and every time. And this is more of, this is what this person is experiencing and feeling while this is going on, and not what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
It's more of, how this person's going to feel about certain situations.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be really interesting to see. You guys have started recording it, or it's in the like towards recording process?
We just started scratch actually, not a long while ago. Just me and Paige sat down and put down a guitar and a bass track. So when we get into having to record, so Wesley can have a kind of a roadmap to go out for his drums, and we're still also kind of getting together a few of the little details on some of the songs and writing them. But we, with the first album, we went with our friend who does a lot of recordings for these local bands, and he's really awesome and stuff. But I feel like because we were having to pay him, that we maybe on our end rushed a little bit, and some of the things that were going to happen, I think we could have maybe pulled off a little more.
If more time.
But well, this time it being completely self-sustained, we're only on our time really. So we're just gonna go in, and if something needs to be fixed, fix it sort of deal, and not just try to fix it in the mixing process and all that. So with the approach we're taking, we're trying to take a lot of care with it this time and make sure we get the best possible product we can.
Yeah. Before we went on air, you guys were talking about the potential of electronic elements coming into this new album. What like specifically do you guys feel like are things that you want, or if you're not that far into it, why do you sort of want this electronic tinge?
Well, really not even just electronic. We're trying to make sure we go through a bunch of different feels, and with the music we've been writing, and we haven't been able to show anybody because we haven't played a show in forever.
Yeah.
And the last show we played, we were still in the middle of writing most of these songs, and getting the vocals and all done for it. But we're taking this album, definitely we're taking a lot of elements of just different kinds of music we listen to and just fusing them together. there's the first song, is kind of pop punky, really.
Yeah.
But then to the next song, kind of has almost like an emo rock style guitar riff, but the backbeat played behind it is kind of Latin-y. So, people will be seeing that as we keep going through it and keep recording it. But it's been an interesting process trying to make all this music kind of come together. But I'm really liking the product of everything we've got.
Yeah, definitely what you guys have put out so far and what we have yet to see sounds like it's going to be really good. I heard and I heard this through the grapevine of Mason Evans, so I don't know how accurate it is right now, but you guys are planning on touring at some point soon-ish, or is that incorrect?
Well, we were, and then I started contacting all these venues and getting some contacts together, and then people just never got back with me or anything. We were going to try a week-long thing. It just never really happened, and we'd love to do it in the future at some point.
Yeah.
There was another band we were actually trying to tour with too. Actually, the dude who produced our last album, his band, we know them all. We're all really good friends with them. We were going to try to do that, but just things because their drummer had summer classes with FSU and all this other stuff, and just things never really got put together the way they needed to. So it never actually ended up happening. But we're definitely looking in the future, trying to go around and play. And even if it's not touring, just go out and just play in just a lot of different places.
Yeah.
And try to spread.
You guys already have played in like a few venues, which for PCB is kind of a big thing. Like a lot of people stick to one venue and are really like religious about going to that venue. And I know it's sort of changed in recent times, but it definitely for a very long time has been like, you're in this venue's gang or you're in this venue's gang. And so that's really cool that you've even gotten to do like that sort of breadth.
Yeah. Because A&M is the main venue we play at, just because they're the people who house most of the indie rock bands around here. And we love playing out there. But it's great to get around and play some other places. I mean, we played. We went out to an open mic night at Ghetto Palace.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it was a really, really good time. Everyone was there for local music. And it was a bunch of older people, too, so it was hilarious. And they were all, like, most of them were really, really drunk by the time we played.
Yeah.
But
Loved us.
Yeah, it was great.
it was a really good time. And we got to see a really cool jam at the end with some like, big-time
Professional
musicians.
musicians,
Like
yeah.
professional musicians. And it was a really awesome experience getting to go out there and getting to talk to those people.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it would be like a good experience for like an up and coming band. What avenues do you think you're gonna explore getting your music out there with the second album? Like, are you gonna push to get it spread around on the internet a little bit more? Like maybe put it on Reddit or something like that, or is it still just you're gonna put it out there and market it more or less the same way you did this last one, like on the local level through Facebook and stuff?
Well, we've been exploring too, and I kind of learned more about music distribution because I had a music business class at school this past semester. And, learning about the different distribution sites, like you have CD Baby and TuneCore and all of them. We were looking to go through CD Baby at some point. It just never really happened, and we're, trying to still get some things together. But we've also been dealing with copywriting things, which is almost done actually right now. Trying to make sure before we put it out there that it's completely our own music. So just in case, on the off chance someone were to want to steal one of our ideas that we haven't protected. So so probably once that all gets done, we'll probably be exploring those avenues with this last album to try to get out there, maybe through one of those distribution sites, and just see where it goes from there.
Yeah, that'll be cool. All right, so are you thinking of expanding like the physical release? Because I know you had a CD, and I know that they now do like vinyl pressing sort of nearby there. Is there going to potentially be a vinyl edition of this new one, or is it going to be the CD release and then like the Bandcamp release most likely of a like a digital?
It'll probably be close to the same thing. And being where we are kind of going with Paige going off to college soon and Chase coming in, it'll probably be mostly digital this next album for a little while until we can get some physicals made and get it out there and start playing some. But definitely looking to, because we can put it up on Bandcamp to ship off and things like that. So it'll just take a little bit more work on our end. But definitely trying to send it out there and see what we can do with it and try to get our name out there best we can.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like the best course of action for you guys. With like Chase stepping in for Paige, is there going to be sort of a sound variation? Like obviously because new influences and stuff like that, but do you foresee it being like a different direction going on from that point a little bit, or do you think it'll stay more or less the same because they might be similar?
I feel like it's going to be fairly similar. Of course, a different musician's going to have a different style just in the way they play. Different person, different hands, different brain, whatever. But aside from that, it could be pretty similar. I'm sitting down with Chase. We're starting to soon we can actually start getting together and doing like some one-on-one work and showing him my stuff and seeing what he's going to do and. Most of the writing we're doing right now is we're getting the writing done as the original group. So the stuff that we'll be teaching, I'll be teaching Wes not Wes, sorry, but teaching Chase is the stuff that we've written. So I feel like once me and him can start working together and start just having one-on-one stuff, it'll be a lot of him playing our stuff, and then if they decide to write while I'm not here, we'll see what Wes can, Chase can come up with. I keep saying Wes because he's right next to me. We'll start seeing what Chase can come up with. I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do. Just filling in, and I'm excited to see them do stuff while I'm off at school.
Yeah. I want to come back to you in just a second, but I want to touch on Wesley because I haven't said anything yet. You definitely have probably within that album the most variation in what sort of styles and what techniques you're using in playing and stuff. And you at the time of the album recording were in multiple bands and may still be. I'm not entirely sure. Do you just really enjoy exploring all those different percussive techniques? Because I know you are in percussion with the band at school and stuff like that. Or is it just you are so talented at percussion for the area that everyone's like, oh, we got to have them?
It's that one.
It's a little bit of both, honestly. I mean,
yes.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of both. I was in percussion. I graduated now, so I'm not doing that anymore for Arnold High School. But yeah, I really like to just try new techniques and just experiment with different sounds and just techniques that I can use to enhance the drums themselves and to make them sound as good as possible.
Yeah, so you definitely have a really strong passion for percussive instrumentation. Obviously you do because you play the drums, but you have a deep want to understand things that you can do with percussion in general, kind of.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just love playing drums.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think
I like.
No, but honestly, a lot of drummers are really like that. They just absolutely adore playing that instrument. I think it's very, and I don't know because I don't play the drums, and so you can tell me if I'm bullshitting or not. But it's very cathartic because it's such an intense experience playing the drums. It is a very physical, use your whole body experience to produce this music.
Yeah, it's very intense. I use it to get just to clear my mind. Most days, I just sit down and just play. Just to beat. Yeah,
to beat on
to beat on stuff. I just clear my head and just get rid of all the negatives.
Yeah, so
Into the mission.
it's a very like zen-like experience for you playing like the drums. Like it is like that peak like experience of what you could be doing with your time.
Yeah, definitely,
I
definitely.
see you like meditating, but
Okay, and now
One day.
going
One day.
going back to Paige. So when you get in Orlando, are you planning on like experimenting with a few other musical groups while you're down there, or doing some solo stuff or anything like that, or just practicing, like honing your technical abilities?
I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of just, personal work, just trying to get, like you said, honing and practicing and just trying to get work done. As far as any kind of like solo or other group work, I don't really know a lot of musicians that are in, my kind, like that play in the style that I usually play in. I mean, I've got, plenty of great friends and, bands that are in Orlando, like our good friend Vince from Arakara.
Yeah.
They're an amazing band. I'd love to go jam with them. Yeah. But again, they're not, I'm not,
And
trained specifically
Yeah.
to do what they do.
Yeah.
A lot of what I'm going to be doing is just, working on writing some new material, so that, on the times that I'm back at home, because my college schedule isn't exactly strenuous.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of time, and I'll definitely be making trips home, and anytime that they can make shows that are closer towards me, maybe like Tallahassee or something like that, I'll come down and play and do all that kind of stuff. But mostly just working on stuff, because I know that a few of the other guys are planning on moving down south.
Yeah.
After this year or so.
So are we ever at any point going to see the 3-guitar formation going on, or is Logan going to put down the guitar in that situation, or are we going to get the whole like almost orchestral prog rock experience from Projections?
we should be the
I don't know. It could be. We'll see what happens. I don't know what Chase's plans are for college. Still got another year of high school, but
Yeah.
I mean, there are shows that you see,
all three.
the Trinity
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely like plenty of ones that pull off the Trinity, and then there are people that just go like all fucking out and have like a backup orchestra for them when they're doing it. Like if you just really want to get out there, it like the ideal future for Projections. What do you see happening?
The ideal future.
Yeah, the ideal future.
Well, this year is going to be really
It's transitionary.
kind of a transitionary year, just seeing where we go. Because after I get done with my stuff at Gulf Coast down here, I'm going to have to find a place to go get my bachelor's in music tech. So that'll probably be kind of, more South Florida area. I'm looking at a college in Boca Raton right now to do that. And I know, a lot of us are looking to move over there. So we might end up, just be based out of like Orlando eventually. So, and just keep going with it. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We're not trying to force anything really. Because right now, we aren't professional musicians. So, we're not using this as our fail-safe or anything, to, make a big life out of this, but we're open to whatever comes our way.
Okay, so you definitely do it like as a like really engaged hobbyist mindset, not so much like
That's probably the best way to put it. We're really just trying to have fun and then make something that we can be proud of.
Yeah, you want to have something like tangible to look back on, as well as like memory experiences to look back on as well. But you definitely like are very full-fledged into all aspects of the hobby, because I mean there's plenty of garage bands that never end up really recording anything, and you guys are now in the process of recording a second one and doing music videos and stuff, so that you guys definitely like went gung ho about
Yeah.
taking it seriously. Yeah.
Well, it's also the beauty of music technology as of right now, because there's so many avenues that you can go about for recording. I mean, they make rigs that you can buy for dirt cheap that you can use to record your music, and a lot of them have they have the capabilities that equipment that would cost you thousands of dollars 10 to 15 years ago. So I attribute a lot of what we've been able to get done with this album to just how amazing the music technology industry is right now.
Yeah, no, it definitely
fact,
is. Sorry.
The fact that we could sit here with you and record on something other than a laptop microphone is pretty great.
Yeah, no, I mean honestly, the whole, even the fact that we can do a recorded radio audio thing without having really a whole lot of equipment at all, and not requiring soundproofing and stuff. We have a fairly good audio quality for minimal input, and then the fact that we're doing it 3,000 miles apart without any professional involvement. I don't even know what computer you're using and stuff like that, and the fact that it works and that I can upload it and then I can even put it on iTunes and people can download it and listen to what Projections is talking about anywhere in the world is an insane thing, because it used to be I don't know if you've heard this recently, but Jode Apatow was talking about how when he was in high school, he was doing interviews for a comedy radio show that his high school ran, and he asked Jerry Seinfeld to do an interview, and just because of how interviewing worked back then, that not anyone could just do it, you had to have equipment and stuff. Seinfeld was like, yeah, sure, and then he sees that it's a little kid, and then they have the interview, and then Apatow ends up writing scripts for Seinfeld way later down the road. But yeah. As technology progresses, any band pretty much can have an article on Pitchfork, and it's on the front page, and it could be a little local band, and it's just because everyone is a whole lot more interconnected with technology in general. And then touching on the music aspect, which has come up in the podcast before, with the bedroom producer and things like that, anyone who really has a dream and a drive to produce art in the musical sense or in the digital sense, probably has access to the equipment that they need to outside of the instruments. Anyone can pursue music in some form and put it out there and share it, no matter how old or young they are, just because of the technology. And that is really amazing. And because we're on the subject, and because, Sailor, you're doing the music tech, what do you think for the music industry will happen? Because we're seeing things like Tidal and Spotify and a lot more streaming, and so a lot more of bands are just being able to enter the market. And I know that at the point when CDs existed, that sort of happened on one stage, but now it's at the point where anyone really can, and they all have these amazing distribution or at least ways of displaying it to the world. What do you think as a speculative thing is the next phase?
It's really easy to look at all the negative with the music industry, because there's 3 major labels right now. So there's a lot of bands are having to do things independently right now, and musicians are down, not making a lot of money because of it. But I think it's really positive that it is, even if you are doing it independently, it still is easy to get your music out there, because different people, just some dude who has a little bit of money might have a passion for music, and then he's able to make some distribution site for you, and you can get out there and get on iTunes and Spotify and Pandora and all that, and you can have just a little bit of success with that.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a really good place with the music industry right now, actually, and it's progressed a long ways, because the fact looking that we're able to record at all really is great, because before we'd have to rent out studio time and go into a big studio to do all this, but now I can just buy a little 8-channel audio interface and plug in, and I've got enough to record a whole drum set there and make an outfit of that.
Yeah.
So-
Do you foresee the breakdown of the big three at any point, or do you think they're gonna like try and wrest control of like market shares for as long as possible?
You know, eventually someone's gonna rise, someone's gonna fall, and it was four not even that long ago. I think it was not even a few months ago where I forget who went down. I can't even remember who the big three right now are. I know EMI and
Ecovision.
Ecovision's not a major label.
Capital.
EMI, I forget who the major three are right now.
RCA and I think,
Yeah, RCA.
and then Sony, or is Sony part of EMI?
I can't remember right
I
now.
thought Sony was part of BMI.
Yeah, I think Sony is part of EMI.
I think Sony is part of EMI, but you know, I can't remember who it was that fell down now right now. But I just know there's three, you know, the big labels. But
Yeah.
you know, eventually, you know, you have all these smaller labels like Sumerian and Equal Vision who are actually getting
Yeah,
pretty
Sony's-
big, and their bands are getting out there. You know, like Coheed and Cambria started on Equal Vision. They're independent now, but you know that just shows you they were on a smaller label and they got out there and they're pretty big now going out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And ID, another one of our big influences, is on Equal Vision right now, and they were just featured with all these big artists in I forget which article. I think it was maybe like USA Today or whatever about, you know, what acts you need to see this summer.
Yeah.
So it's
EMI got sold.
EMI's been sold like 5 times.
Yeah. The big three right now are Universal, Sony, and Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool.
All right. So yeah, but you know, I really like where we are with the music industry right now. Actually, you know, because a lot of people, even though there are, you know, a lot of the very business-driven people in the, you know, big leagues, as you would say it, there still are good, you know, good ways to get through with people who still do really just have a passion for music.
Yeah, for sure. And just the fact that there's so many like artist-owned labels and stuff like that nowadays, like it definitely is more, the business side is being run by people who are very passionate about the music. Like, once again, it's the people that want to be connected in on all that, like on an artistic level.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you guys think is going to happen with Jon Snow?
Oh man.
coming back. It's coming back.
I don't know. They haven't brought back anyone except for
Thoros. Thoros brought someone back, right?
Yeah, she's coming.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't think he's coming back personally. Because the only person they brought back was the Mountain.
No,
The only person that came
no,
dead.
They brought back the guy that the Hound killed in season 2 or 3. Remember?
He came back to.
Yeah, he came back to
Wait.
life. The Thoros Amir resurrects him with his red priest powers.
Yeah.
And he's
I
been
remember that
resurrected multiple times.
Wow. You're right.
The Red Queen's gonna
Yeah.
bring Jon Snow back.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys would be okay with me spoiling book stuff, but they have resurrected one other person.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I heard.
The specific
My-
person who did it is the person that potentially could be resurrecting Jon Snow.
Yeah. You know, I really don't care if they bring him back or not.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, because he wasn't really doing much for me as a character.
Well, I mean, like, it wasn't so much him as a character. It was like anything other than White Walkers at the Wall was. I mean, it was exciting, but it wasn't engaging enough. Like, it wasn't as like, because one of the biggest like interesting parts about that show is like the political side of everything.
Yeah.
But his side was like the least. Whenever it would go to scenes with him where they weren't fighting or there weren't walkers involved, it was like, okay, what's Braun doing?
Yeah, yeah.
What's Hodor doing?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
anybody else?
Yeah.
He just is such a popular character because of the actor with like the lady
Kit
audience.
Harington is
Yeah.
this person.
That-
So
But like you said, the fact that they had like a whole episode dedicated to Jon Snow and just like a battle was so bizarre to me. I was like, what is going on? This episode doesn't fit really with the rest of it
yeah.
a whole lot. The thing that I think, because it's the Song of Ice and Fire, is that Jon Snow is going to come back as a White Walker, and he's going to be the lead of the icy side, and then the dragons are going to come and they're going to
Yes.
I heard.
That's what I think.
We can all dream.
Yeah, we can all dream, and the fact that they're just going to do more stuff with it afterwards, like they're going to do side stories and things like that,
Yeah.
it is going to be interesting. So you guys have played D&D 5th, right?
Yeah, we're playing it right
playing
now.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't played it at all. Could you guys sort of give like an overview of things that are going differently, or?
It's a much smoother system. It's a lot less because before we were playing Pathfinder, and I know Pathfinder is in a lot of mechanical ways similar to 3.5.
Yeah.
It's slimmed down a lot. It makes it a lot smoother of a game to focus on like the story. It's the numbers are also less inflated, whereas like when you're playing Pathfinder, it's like, okay, my character has an armor class of like 37. In D&D, if your armor class was 37, you'd be God and you'd be untouchable.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to and also it's just easier to do stuff in general. Like there's less like, oh, I want to try to make a ball. Well, roll 7 checks to make that ball in Pathfinder.
Yeah.
And D&D, it's like, oh, hey, roll to make sure you don't like make a square by mistake.
Yeah.
Like something like that.
Or it's like in D&D, one of my favorite parts is like the grappling rules. There's a billion rules for grappling in Pathfinder, whereas like in D&D, it's 2 opposing checks and that's it.
Oh, that's nice, because D&D is definitely the one that like originally was really all about those grappling rules. Even in 4th edition, I think the grappling rules were like ridiculous, and I don't know why they were always so like absurd. It did. I guess it sort of made sense with like the having to maintain the hold on the person, but
yeah. But again, still, just having opposing checks is enough.
Yeah,
that just makes it so much easier. And also, it's more fun. It makes it more of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's less, okay, I'm going to beat this number that I can probably never beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's free form. You got to use your imagination a lot more because there's not pre-written rules for every little thing that you can do. It's just kind of, just come up with something in your head that would be awesome for your character to do, and then I'm just going to give you one roll to roll, and that's it.
Yeah, so it definitely is like a more narrative experience than.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of like the RPGs are going that way. They're trying to make them more about what narratively is going on, because for so long they like focused on really like they were making it complex just for the sake of making it complex, basically. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like now that we're playing 5th, we had explored before 5th. We had been doing stuff with obviously Pathfinder, but then also Numenera by Monty Cook.
Oh man,
which is a really really good game. And the numbers there, that game is just so dirt simple. But then when we got back to D&D, it was a really good balance between Pathfinder and Numenera, because it kind of brought back in a few more rules.
Yeah.
A bit more structure, and also it brings in that air of familiarity. Whereas the world in Numenera is amazing. It's such an interesting and unique idea, but it's sometimes so incredibly unique that you have to almost read the literature to kind of understand what's going on in the world, as opposed to D&D where everyone knows what a dragon is.
Yeah.
Everyone understand that when you say ghoul, you're going to think of some like undead thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot more familiar. It's it's more.
A flaming
Yeah, a
sword.
sword that's on fire is going to make more sense than a bomb that causes a singularity, but it only works this way. It's stuff like that,
Yeah.
and also the fact that you can sit there and be like, it helps you focus more on what's going on, as opposed to trying to take in the environment as much.
Yeah, and being like overload. I picked up The
Yeah.
Strange when I like moved out here because I was like, I want to play this one. No, they
Yeah,
just
we actually.
released it. Yeah,
We
that's
played
what,
that not too long ago. Yeah.
yeah, that's why I was gonna ask. How did you guys like that? Because I felt like that one even more was like a crazy wild.
Well,
It's way out there.
That one's out there. The thing I think that's a neat game simply because of the fact that you can, even though it's way out there, like kind of like how Numenera is, it does use that simplified system, and also the fact that it's all about going to worlds that are formed by human fiction.
Yeah.
So, for example, when we played, they were in a
my
Scooby-Doo
gosh.
dungeon, like they were in a Scooby-Doo mansion
with John Cena.
with John Cena, because it was the John Cena, like the Scooby-Doo movie with John Cena in it.
There's a
Like
Scooby-Doo-
WrestleMania. Yeah, it's Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery.
Jesus.
And I watched that before playing it, and then it was like they had to like fight. They had to fight the Black Knight, but he had like a mech suit. So they had to fight like a mechanized Black Knight
That was.
Ugh.
with nothing but weapons that you could make from stuff in the Scooby-Doo world. So like everyone who had characters that could use guns,
I was a Navy SEAL using a fire poker.
they didn't have guns because there's no guns in Scooby-Doo world that work at least.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that. It was really it's really fun. Like I like the fact that it's so incredibly easy to be like, okay, well I need to come up with a session. Okay, what cartoon did I just like last watch? Okay, they're gonna be there. Okay, that works.
Yeah.
Well, and-
yeah.
One of the things I like about Monty Cook's systems, like from a GM standpoint, is the fact that the GM rolls nothing. It's just you're telling a story, and anytime the characters are attacked, they roll defense. Anytime they try to attack the creature, they roll an attack, and like you don't do anything except tell a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D-
It gives you all the numbers.
Is he supposed to come out with another one? Is he going to do like a trilogy
Yes.
thing? He is?
Actually, what it is, he's doing what is called his Cipher Systems, and you can do anything. You can do a superhero like campaign. You can do a fantasy world campaign. You can do something like The Strange. You can do a modern day like
It's like
bank
GURPS.
robbers.
Yeah.
It's literally anything you want it to be.
Yeah, it's like a modernized like GURP system.
Okay.
Where
So-
it's a blank slate, like
Yeah.
empty.
yeah. So he's not going to do another like lore intensive one. He's just going to open it up to everyone basically. With the
I'm not
next
sure.
He might, but I read an article and he was talking about how a lot of people were asking him, when are you going to do a superhero one? When are you going to do a fantasy one? And this is kind of his answer to everyone's question.
Yeah.
Okay, so he probably still will, if he like dreams up some like crazy thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have it.
I mean,
Know-
anybody
knowing Monty Cook.
yeah, knowing the stuff that he's come up with so far, he's definitely gonna have something come out.
yeah, for sure. And he is just like a creative person in general. Like his novels and everything are really good.
Yeah.
And then I mean I know he wants money too, so he.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he comes out with a new game, he's gonna get flooded with money because all
Yeah.
of his games are so freaking good.
Yeah, they're all really popular. I really liked, and he did this a while ago when he brought the World of Darkness over to the D20 system away from like the pools of D10s or whatever, and like really simplified
Yeah.
that for the time, because World of Darkness at that time was a really complex system where you made a human character first and then you converted them into like this werewolf or vampire or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was just like redundant and overdone in my opinion. But they fixed that a whole lot. You guys been playing board games lately?
Yeah, actually, we've been playing a lot of board games.
Settlers of Catan.
Played a lot of Settlers.
Is good.
Smash Ups. Been doing that a lot. Different forms of Munchkin.
Yeah.
We just bought this really weird like $10 game from Target. That's like it's a Wikipedia board game.
Yeah.
I
It's-
recommend it to everyone.
It's I don't know. It's
odd.
it's worth the $10. I mean, I'll say
Yeah.
that it's definitely entertaining to play and super short.
What-
What else have we been playing?
Cards Against Humanity, whenever we.
Lots of cards. I just ordered Super Fight.
What?
Oh, Super
Yeah, I
Fight's
ordered
supposed to be good. You guys should check out Boss Monster. You build like a little 8-bit dungeon and you attract heroes to it. Like it's a smash up style like card game thing. And they go through that one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time's also supposed to be really good. It's like the storytelling one where you have like plot objects, verb or action that happens, and you play those cards and you like say a little sentence story with it, and you try and get your conclusion to occur that you get dealt at the beginning of the game by making like plot elements and stories happen. So it's that one's like a really good exercise just for like pen and paper games, because you're like stretching the storytelling muscle a lot with that game. Would the Wikipedia game work as a podcast game? Could we do that, or would that not be possible?
I think it could.
Yeah,
It work.
you might not be able, the only thing is you might not be able to, because there's different people who run it at certain points, so we would just have to skip out on you, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's like you draw a card, you have to ask 3 questions, and then you answer the questions, and then you have to, it'll give you like a list of 3 pages related to the theme of the cards. Like, say the theme is chocolate. It'll ask you like 3 trivia questions about chocolate. It'll ask you to put in order 3 Wikipedia pages from highest number of views to lowest number of views that are about chocolate, and then it'll ask you to write down 5 words in some way related to, like, list 5 types of chocolate candy or something like that, and then the person who's reading the card writes down 5, and everyone who matches gets a point.
Okay.
And whenever they have a match, they get a point too. So it's really simple, and it's really kind of short, but if we were to play, there'd have to be some way of us being able to show you the card.
Or you can just tell him what he has to do.
Yeah, you could just tell me. You could just type it in or say it.
That's true.
You think it'd be entertaining?
We could try it.
Yeah, you want to try it?
around?
Yeah,
I'm down.
let's just try around. I just want to play it.
Something we could do is somebody that's not playing could run Gabe's card, and then Gabe could still write down like the thing at the end for himself.
Maybe. That'd be harder to do.
Not really. It would actually make it easier, because then that person could just be in charge of the questions that he has to answer.
Yeah.
Give the answers for.
Gabe, you're gonna need something to write with.
Yeah.
I got it. We're ready. Hold
Cool.
on. Let me click on the lights for myself.
That gets silly.
Oh, no.
Oh
No,
Don't spill anything.
You're a lucky man.
I am a lucky man. My wife tells me that all the time.
Wow.
Oh no!
If for Gabe. Or Gabe's written something. You're not gonna need that. But you can write down the answer.
Oh god, this game. We're having go first.
On the board, sorry. I'll go first. I guess we'll just play a few rounds of it. It's not a very long game. I think when we played with 4 people, it was like a round apiece, and then I got to go twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we only went around.
All right. So.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. All right. So.
There's a timer, by the way, so you don't answer or write down anything until the timer starts.
Okay. So the first card's theme is pirates.
Oh my god.
Okay. There's 3 trivia questions. The first question is: the Pittsburgh Pirates played in the first World Series, losing to what team? Second question is: the Barbary Coast, a haven for pirates, is located off what continent's coast? And then, when men that attacked other ships on the orders of a rival government were known as what? A. Privateers, B. Frigateers, C. Mutineers.
Oh god. Okay. Are you gonna start the timer?
And go.
What was the second question again?
The Barbary Coast is off the coast of what continent?
Is it Bermuda?
What would you think?
Continent?
Mm-hmm.
Not very good at geography. That's my best guess.
Okay, so I just write down what I think they are, right?
Yeah, just write down an
Okay.
answer.
To all three
Then I'll give
or
the
just
answer.
one?
All three of them.
Okay.
Well, I'm good to go.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
good to
Wesley's
go.
Good. Okay.
Okay. The answer to number 1 was the Boston Red Sox.
Ah. Dodgers.
Okay, the second answer is Africa.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
No, I've got.
And the last one is Privateers.
Nice.
I got that.
Nice.
Alright,
I
so we-
thought they lost to the Raiders, which wasn't even a baseball team.
I was thinking,
I put Giants
Just do-
for the
instead
first
of doing this,
question.
just do check marks on the top of your card.
Yeah.
Just do, I mean, like for your totals. But
No, we can give out tokens. So I just put the Gabe ones Gabe gets.
I was gonna say it'd be easier just to do on the card.
Put
We don't have to
Gabe gets
divvy the
in there.
tokens out.
Sure.
I got one.
Okay, next part is I'm gonna name three things, and you're gonna have to put them in order of page views, like which page
which
on Wikipedia.
What gets the most
Yeah.
views? Okay.
Yeah, and then you have to put them in order from highest to lowest. Okay, Cutlass, Buccaneer, and Junk Ship.
Okay.
So
From
just put them in
high-
order from like from
highest
most
to
numbers of.
lowest?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm good.
I'm-
Okay, this is pretty quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Cutlass, Junk Ship, Buccaneers.
Fuck.
I got that completely backwards.
Yeah, same.
I got all three.
Nice. And the last part is I'm going to list 5 actors and or actresses from the Pirates of the Caribbean film series, and you guys have to match me on them.
There's
Oh,
the easiest
God.
one. There's the easy one. I got one.
I get to give one.
Johnny Bravo, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo doing the monkey dance.
What's her name?
Hoo-ha-hoo.
He just runs around trying to, get women the whole time. Keira
Yep, you're right.
Keeping angels out.
Thank you.
Can't
I got
remember.
everyone
no.
I could get.
I can't remember.
I'm trying to think of any other ones.
I can only think of two.
I can only think of 3.
Man. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Oh, what's his
Three-
name?
three
Who
names.
played Davy Jones?
I can't remember.
The guy from
I forget.
Shaun of the Dead.
I don't know his name.
All right. I got Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, and Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Oh.
I got the 3 main characters.
Nice.
So if you didn't.
I was expecting you to get Keith Richards. And then-
Oh! I
Oh,
completely forgot about
That's
that.
Davy Jones, right?
No,
No,
that's,
Johnny Depp's
that's
dad.
Johnny. Yeah, Jack Sparrow's dad is Keith Richards.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget that.
Who's Davy Jones?
I don't remember who played him. Okay.
Hey, Gabe, what's your score?
It's 6.
Okay.
Okay, I'm at 3.
I'm at 7.
5.
All right. Logan's turn. Make sure this is not the same card.
Okay.
Well, I didn't see any questions. This is nicknames.
Okay. The theme of this one is nicknames. This one's going to get silly. Okay. Trivia. First question is, what is the nickname for the Notre Dame athletic teams? Second, what is the nickname for Benjamin Franklin Pierce on MASH? And third, what is Magic Johnson's real first name? A. Robert, B. Irvin, or C. James?
Yeah, go.
Johnson.
James Johnson.
What was the first one?
What is the nickname of the Notre Dame athletic teams?
What was number 2 again?
The number 2 was, what is the nickname of Benjamin Franklin Pierce on MASH?
Oh, I know.
Haven't
What's
seen
number
Nash in forever.
Number 3 is, what is Magic Johnson's real first
Oh.
name? Robert,
Really
Irvin,
nice.
or James?
I know what that.
You should know that one. Should know that one without even.
I know.
Why
Like
should Wesley know that one?
Because Wes likes basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, favorite sport.
All right, I got mine. What do you guys got?
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay. The answer to number 1, the nickname for Notre Dame's athletic teams is the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, got
I
one.
just put Irish.
I just put fighting Irish.
I feel like the fighting part is really important.
Listen, okay, I just put Irish for short. Okay, I just put Irish.
Did you know it though?
Wait.
Yes, I did.
Did you know it?
How did we know that he knew it?
Because he's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Not really.
I also watch football. So.
I figured if anybody actually knew that, it would be you. What is the nickname of Benjamin Franklin Pierce on MASH? Hawkeye.
You're right. Damn.
Oh,
I watched that shit like yesterday because my dad's been watching like little TV shows.
Anybody get that?
No.
And then, what is the real first name of Magic Johnson? Irvin.
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't know why I knew
I thought
that.
it was James.
Oh my gosh, this one's going to get silly. All right. List these in number of page views, highest to lowest. Slim, Stretch, and Stink.
Uh,
Oh God.
I have no idea where to even start with that.
If I didn't have the card, my
I like how it's an alliteration.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're being cheeky with us.
Yes, they are.
Is it a cheeky game? Are there like really fuck you questions?
There are some cheeky questions. Like it's one of those things. It's kind of like how Siri can be cheeky.
Yeah.
You know, like,
you
it's
don't
not
expect
always-
it. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you ask it certain questions, it'll give you weird. It's like certain cards are cheekier than others.
This reminds me of when we tried to find our first band name.
Wait.
When we were trying to find a band name before we decided it's a trap. We did Wikipedia random pages, and we just kept going through them for like an hour.
Do you remember that thing that went on Facebook and it was like where you randomly generated your band and first album or whatever, and you
What was
Wikipedia
ours? We
page?
had one. It was something silly.
I don't remember.
And
Yeah.
you, like
I remember
you
something
even went on Flickr and got like the photo and everything, and then you put it together, and everyone was doing it for like
Yeah. We were talking about
that was good.
I'm
They should bring things like that back. Why did like To Be Honest and Like My Statuses and all that fall off? Like what? I guess because everyone already did it, but
People have been doing on Snapchat. They've been doing replay for To Be Honest, or they've been doing screenshot for To Be Honest.
Really?
It's kind of weird.
That's
yeah,
odd.
that is
No,
weird.
I know like the kids who do To Be Honest are like the age that we were doing like the To Be Honest like
they
stats
do it.
stuff.
Okay.
Like working with kids, I hear stuff like that all the time. So
Okay, yeah.
It-
Do any of you Periscope? Are you gonna ever Periscope a show? You know what that is, right? Or no?
I am not familiar. No.
Okay, on
What?
your, I don't know if any of you have iPhones, but Periscope's an app for the iPhone right now, and it lets you live stream like in a Twitch type way, but like it's
Huh.
from your phone camera, and people can subscribe to those streams and stuff, and you'll get like money like in a YouTube or Twitch sense when they can donate like that. So you could potentially Periscope your band performances, and people who are like wanting to watch live local bands perform could watch you guys perform that way and like donate just like at a local show, because I know a few people do stuff like that, or go to like open mic nights and do comedians and Periscope that, stuff like that.
That'd be awesome.
You can even like, Periscope like practices and things like that.
Yeah, you
Ooh,
can
good.
you can Periscope all kinds of stuff. Like there's someone who's a comedian, and every day it's his like wake and bake Periscope thing, and he tweets like 5 minutes before it. I think it's Joe Donahan is the guy who does it, and he gets up, he smokes a blunt or whatever, and then Periscopes like like his 5-minute thoughts for the day, and like thousands upon thousands of people watch this every morning. And I've seen it a few times because I've gotten up early enough, and he's just fucking like talking out of his ass about like all kinds of things. And obviously, like, because he's a comedian, he's got a lot of practice at it. But he just says stupid ass shit, and like hundreds of thousands of people watch it. And because Periscope's really new and stuff, people do watch like live local performances and stuff. Like that's a big trending thing on it, because that's a really new way for people to discover new music.
Huh.
Huh.
Surprised we've never heard of that before
We
at
need
all.
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I mean,
thanks.
Periscope's Periscope's like pretty new. I think it is like when Vine was just becoming popular. Like that's like how
Oh,
small it is.
Yeah,
still.
that's probably why.
So the answer to that question
Okay.
is exactly the order I gave it in.
Yes.
Slim, stretch, and stink.
Yeah.
Fucking A. None of that was
I got
right.
one.
I got 10.
Slim,
I got.
stretch,
I was just like, I have no
stink.
clue, so I'm just gonna write them down in order.
I got one.
That's what I did.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do a single one of these.
Why?
What's the question?
What's the question?
I don't watch basketball.
Let's-
So you guys have to try and match me on 5 nicknames of famous basketball players.
Oh my god, I love.
No.
I'm not going to be able to
Yes.
get a single one.
I know this.
You know one.
I-
You know one because you just said it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
right.
I got that one. I can't think of any others. I don't watch basketball
Well,
at
just
all.
say 'em.
Just make up nicknames. Just make up fucking nicknames and see if we match them.
Okay, everybody make up nicknames. I'm going to give you guys a hint. Magic Johnson is in there.
I got one more.
I'm just guessing. I'm just making up names at this point. So
I am
He's
too.
doing too. So I'm just going
Okay.
super generic.
Okay, I got to come up with one more.
Okay.
Crap. Oh, okay.
All right.
What were
Let's see.
yours, Logan?
Let's see. What?
What were they?
Yeah, what were they?
Okay. Hang on. Wesley's still
I'm
going.
still writing. I'm still
Oh,
writing.
he is.
So-
Okay, sorry.
If you're not making them up, you're not going to get a single one.
All right, just go.
Hang on. No,
Okay, I
I
got
don't let
this.
Wesley.
Okay, I'm good.
Because I want to
Okay.
hear what people think it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I put Magic Johnson.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a given. Everybody gets that one, so I'm going to go and mark a point for that. I put Slim.
I got Slim.
Damn it.
I put Stretch.
Didn't put Stretch.
Fuck
You
you.
put Stink, didn't you?
I did not put Stink.
Good.
I put Long Legs.
No.
Damn it.
I put Red.
No.
I just wanted to
No.
come up with a random one.
Okay.
So I got
Hey,
Slim Magic Johnson.
I put Magic, Slim, Biggie, Flash, and Bob.
What?
Flash
I
is
don't
a
know.
pretty good one. Flash is a pretty good.
Yeah. I
Chase,
thought
what-
Flash. I thought Flash Gordon, and then for some reason that made me think of Michael. I don't know.
Sailor, what were your nicknames?
I had good old LeBron James as King James.
I got that.
I thought there was like a Keen.
Yeah,
There's
I
some
put
King James.
MJ for Michael Jordan.
Okay.
So
you went really.
I know
little.
there's someone called the microwave, or multiple people are called the
Multiple
microwave in
people.
basketball. Because I think it means like if you come off the bench, you're able to like score really quickly off the
yeah,
bench.
you score immediately and
Yeah.
don't stop scoring. Basically.
What?
Really?
Did I really give you this card?
Pirates.
Oh, how did I even do that? I must have. I pulled like a whole stack off, and I must have pulled it right down to. I didn't read the question. So.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
All right. Greek mythology is our theme.
Oh,
No, gee.
Got this.
good.
All right. The first question on trivia is: what Greek mythological creatures were half man, half horse?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Who is the Greek goddess of love?
Oh, God.
And the last question is: what creatures ruled the labyrinth in Crete until it was killed by Theseus?
All right, no, that. I mean,
Nice.
you're not even giving me multiple.
Nice.
There was no multiple choice.
What was that question?
Uh, what creatures ruled the labyrinth in Crete
Oh, okay.
until?
Oh, God. I didn't realize how easy these were going to be.
They're not
These
that hard.
ones are pretty easy.
Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. First answer is centaurs.
Those-
The next answer is Aphrodite.
Yep.
Nice.
And the last one is the Minotaur.
Yep.
Good.
D&D.
Oh, something funny about centaurs. So I saw this picture on like I think it was Tumblr. It's great. It was a picture and it was like centaur problems, and then it was how like when horses are born they can walk almost immediately, but when human babies are born they can barely hold their head up for like the first like 3 or 4 months, and then it's just a picture of like two centaurs and like 4 baby centaurs. Like the legs work, but the bodies are just flopping back and forth because they can't hold their heads up, and they're just like wailing.
What video games have centaurs? Does The Witcher have centaurs, or does anything have
I don't
centaurs?
think so. A God of War does.
God of War
that.
does, yeah.
That is Greek mythology.
I can almost
Obviously.
guarantee there's like a Harry Potter game out there somewhere that has
Yeah,
it.
Harry Potter.
does.
The Harry Potter game has centaurs in it.
Yeah,
One of
I guess
I
World
just-
of Warcraft does. Yeah, but those
Yeah,
are like
well,
a rare one to fight. You fight satyrs. a
Yeah.
lot.
Guild Wars 2 definitely had a ton of centaurs in it.
But theirs were different, sort of in the way World of Warcrafts were, weren't they? Didn't they have like horns or something? Or am I?
They didn't. They had a different name, but they didn't have horns or anything.
Okay. Then I'm just filling in the blanks with the World of Warcraft ones, because the World of Warcraft ones were kind of equine even in their bodies, and I think some other stuff have done it where it's more animal than man.
It's more bestial than it is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think even like in some Greek mythology, like depictions, it's kind of more bestial, because I know the satyrs are a little bit more bestial than they show them.
They are in like
and
yeah.
Hercules and stuff
Narnia
like
or-
that.
yeah.
No. Witcher's good for a game like about hunting big monsters. So is God of War. And I don't know if any of you guys played Dragon's Dogma, where you could like climb up them and like fight like giants and stuff. Yeah, that was good.
Yes. Dragon's Dogma was so good. There's not that many people that have played it though.
Yeah, that
I have
one's a
it.
real-
I just don't.
It's such a good game.
It is a really good one. And I guess Dark Souls probably has a centaur thing. There probably is something like that in that.
Dark Souls has
weird.
all sorts of things in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next part of that card?
Next part is page views.
Oh, jeez.
List these in order. In order of least to greatest or whatever. Or in a greatest to least. The 3 pages are Cyclops, Pegasus, and Golden Fleece.
Oh, that's hard.
Good.
You got it though.
I probably don't. Nope. Hey, you game?
Yep, I'm good.
All right, let's see. Number 1 is Pegasus.
Yes.
2 is Cyclops.
Yes.
And 3 is Golden Fleece.
Nice. On the Golden Fleece subject, and knowing Logan Conley enjoys himself some drink, are you ever at any point gonna like do a brew or something? Are you gonna try and make some mead or something one day?
You know, that's something I never actually thought about doing, but that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I thought like at least brewing beer would be something that like interests you. Like it's like just a hobby thing to try once.
I don't drink beer. It makes me sick.
Oh yeah, well cider's also pretty simple to do.
Yeah, cider I would be down to do.
Cider's really easy to do, and because I was like talking about it yesterday with Gilly, I was like, I want to drink some mead, and I was like, I don't even know where you buy that though. Like, I guess some liquor stores have it, and then other ones have like fake stuff. And I was like, I wonder how you do it. And I watched a YouTube video, and you just pour honey and water, and add like the yeast culture, and you sit it out in the sun for 40 days, and then you have honey wine. That would be good for a D&D game. You'd be legit in the
That would be
in the zone.
Wait, last mead,
You guys want to do it?
maybe.
I'm done.
Maybe. We'll work on that. That sounds like it'd be something interesting just to do for the experience.
Yeah, no, I mean, it like because there's such like a big like brewing culture of like kombucha and beers and stuff out here. Like everyone like talks about and like brings like their craft brews to work on like Fridays to like give out at the end of the day, be it the tea or like the cider or whatever, which is really cool. But yeah, so that like is something that I've been really immersed in here. But I thought that especially like Logan, who's like a connoisseur of drinking, would be interested in maybe picking that up as a hobby or in a
You know, I might
experiment.
do that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't either.
What's the last part of that card?
List 5 of the Olympians. 5 of the 12 Olympians.
Oh God.
Are the Olympians
got
the
it.
gods?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody who lives on Olympus.
Wait, that doesn't.
I can't remember 5 honestly off the top of my head right now.
I mean, I can think of 5 if I do list it.
No, not one of them.
No, how you spell it.
Technically, he's not an Olympian.
Yeah, that's what I thought about too. I don't
Not
know.
an Olympian. He's the only he had technically half of one of them.
I would accept Hades.
Well, in that case.
Yeah,
I mean-
put it back in.
I'm just thinking of the movie Hercules.
Yeah, that's more or less what I did.
I
Oh
can't.
wait, I never mind. I don't even have to use Hades.
I can't remember.
Use it anyway, you get one.
How many do you have?
I have 3.
Do you want some?
I have 5.
Go ahead, Paige. Just name me what you got.
Zeus, Hades, Hera, Aphrodite, and Ares.
What about Hercules?
Dang.
Shit for that.
He's
He's not an
Poseidon.
Olympian.
he's a demigod. He lived on Earth.
Whatever.
So, okay.
Zeus, Hades, Hera, Aphrodite, Ares.
I always give myself a good old 2 points for that.
What did you guys get?
I got Zeus, Poseidon, Athena, Hermes, and Ares.
Oh, you got 2. What'd you say, Gabe?
I had Zeus, Aphrodite, Poseidon, Hades, and Hermes.
Okay. What'd you have, Logan?
I had Aphrodite, Zeus, Hercules, and Hades.
Okay, so I got
What?
Hercules is an Olympian.
technically not a Olympian.
Found that out just now.
Who?
Good to know.
You
retarded
need
because you
to
ain't know
play God of
Hercules.
War, but you're an Xbox person.
Yeah.
Because God of War is really good.
I don't even play God of War. It's so
So fun though.
I'm just not a huge fan of it.
Yeah,
I played-
God of War is pretty good.
I played as a God of War character in
Soul
PlayStation
Calibur?
also.
Oh,
You played Kratos.
Oh.
I played Kratos All Stars.
Yeah, God of War is good, but I personally preferred like the Devil May Cry. I thought that was.
Yeah, as far as like a quote unquote hack and
Also
slash
played-
game.
Also
Yeah.
played as him in PlayStation All Stars.
Yeah.
Speaking of silly games, Gabe, have you played Rocket League yet?
No, but I've seen it. I've seen it.
It is so good.
It is.
I got it. Yeah, I got it for my PS4, and it is just—it's so much silly fun.
Yeah.
Green. Oh my god.
Oh, this is gonna be
This is
interesting.
gonna be interesting. The
But-
theme of this card is green.
Okay.
Okay. Now the card is green. Here's the trivia. What consumer advocate was the Green Party candidate for the U.S. presidency in 1996 and 2000?
Waka Flame.
Yeah, I wish.
What are the other 2 questions?
Um,
You're not writing these
Oh,
down.
okay, sorry. What part of plant cells give leaves their green color?
Nice.
Gosh darn it.
Wow. Biology was like 2 years ago. I don't remember that.
And then the last one is, what is the capital of Greenland?
What the fuck?
That's not green.
I
That's
don't know that first one.
I have a decent guess for the first one.
I don't know.
Probably not right.
What do we got? What's the answer?
Okay, the answer to the first one is Ralph Nader.
Yes!
I put wrong.
Yes!
That one right?
Because Ralph Nader has run for president every year since like 1920.
Yeah,
So,
I put Ron Paul.
It's true.
Okay,
This is
then-
the dawn
He's
of time.
libertarian.
The second answer is chloroplasts.
Yeah,
never
mind.
I kept trying to think chloroform. I was like, what?
And then the third answer is nuke. N-U-U-K.
Yeah, because everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Greenland. Okay.
Yeah, I would have gotten that one.
All
I
right.
just had more time, yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, the next one is page views. The pages are Al Green, Graham Green, and John Green.
But
Where's John Green, Al Green, and who else?
Graham Green.
Dude, no idea.
Yeah, I just kind of BS'd.
Yep, I got mine.
All right, the answers are number 1, John Green.
Nice.
Number 2, Al Green.
Yes.
And number 3, Graham Green.
Very good.
Got one right.
Sweet.
All
The
right.
first one I knew. The other two were just kind of shot in the dark.
Yeah. All right. The next section is list 5 green foods.
You do this.
You have to write it down. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The way it works is if whatever we match with you, we both get a point for.
Okay.
Ketchup. Back when Shrek was.
I almost put
And
green ketchup.
Twinkies. Twinkies too when Shrek was a thing.
Yeah, Twinkies did that too.
Oh, I don't remember that. That sounds gross.
It probably was.
I mean, I don't like Twinkies as it is.
Do
So.
ogres count as food?
They're like onions.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, so ogres it is.
name
If
five
you
things
put the
that have
R,
letters.
the E before the R, you messed up.
Wait.
So be that guy.
Ogre.
Ogre. No, it is
I got
O-G-R-E.
five.
Ogre.
Yeah, ogre. Okay. I can't think of a fifth one.
No.
How
Put that? What?
Your second to last one.
Yeah, I did. If he doesn't put ogre on there, we'll be upset. Did you put ogre? You
No,
better put
no,
ogre.
no, no.
What?
What did you put?
Okay. These are mostly vegetables, but I put celery, salad.
Nice.
I mean, does
Pickles.
lettuce count as salad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I got pickles too.
Pickles, green onions, and jalapenos.
Okay.
Okay. Does
I got-
spinach also
I
count
got-
as salad?
I got one of them.
No.
No.
Darn
I
it.
got-
That's its own thing.
I got one. Like half of one, really.
I put lettuce, kale, spinach, ogre, and pickle.
Ogre.
I put ogre too.
Okay, thank you. I'm not gonna have the only one.
Okay.
Jeez, I thought it was the only.
So that was pretty. That was funny. That is something that I might have to get as a game. The Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Who won?
Yeah. Who won?
Oh, yeah.
I have
I have 1, 2, 3,
16.
4, 5, 6,
I have 23.
I have 19.
I have 20.
I just
5, 26. 26.
Ah,
Damn it.
it's looking good right up until the end. And then Paige swooped in with his 26.
Yeah. Party games like that it's always hard for me to tell if I'm like
Winning.
Yeah. Winning and really into it because like they more than like regular board games like depend on just like the vibe I think of how everyone's feeling about the game because
Yeah.
like, I mean, there's not a whole lot to it, so the fun definitely comes from like
The
everyone's
comedic
like,
aspect.
yeah
Putting-
yeah
Ogre for answers.
Yeah.
yes like putting ogre for answers. Yeah, so I guess is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Let me think.
That's Portland.
Sure there is. Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
Portland?
Haven't
Portland's
seen
pretty.
you in a while.
Yeah, no, I mean it's been a good minute. I'm planning on coming to visit in the winter, is when it's seeming like because my parents are gonna come visit one more time and like Ellie's coming to visit, but I still want to visit like people down there, for sure. But it's been pretty good. There's a lot of really cool stuff. We host like the retro game like scene out here, so there's like all kinds of things that like hold PS2 tournaments, and they do Friday Night Magic and D&D at those sort of things. There's a lot of cool stuff outdoors. Like I didn't know that there was a desert in Oregon before moving out here, and they have like all kinds of fossils and thunderbird eggs out there, and then there's the coast. It's been really interesting. A lot has happened in Oregon since we've moved here. Like they legalized marijuana. Apparently the biggest earthquake ever to hit is supposed to hit Portland in a month span, I think is what they're saying. Like, because it's on a fault and they're like, oh, we're due for it. We're going to get hit by it. So that might be interesting. I don't live like in city center by any means. I live in the suburbs. So probably won't affect me, but the people in Portland will be fucked up. I mean, I can't help them. I definitely cannot help them.
Have the Rock break down your door to come
Yeah.
save you.
Yeah, no,
Just fucking the Rock and fire everywhere in your backyard.
I mean, yeah, because we have like 2 volcanoes really nearby, St. Helens and then St. George, I think, is also a volcano, and St. Helens is a huge fucking volcano, so there are risk of things like that, but I don't know how often we like actually would have to deal with anything like that. Yeah, no, it's got really intense nature. It's really green out here. And a lot of like weird little counterculture things go on, like farmers markets are everywhere. People are selling their art in the middle of the street. People are claiming to be selling like grill equipment, and they're actually trying to sell you drugs outside of Walmart, which is weird. No, really, this dude has like a sign, and he's got a grill next to him. It's like grill for sale, and I was like, walking by, he's like, you want to buy a grill? And I was like, no, I don't need a grill. And he's like, you want to buy heroin? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's like, oh, so speed then. And I was like, no. Like, how are you even doing this right outside of Walmart?
No, this guy's an entrepreneur.
I'm only seeing.
He's got the grill. He's got the grill and get fucked up.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess that was the plan. I've only seen him once, and like it's weird to see people like that out in like the suburbs. Like in certain areas of downtown, like near Chinatown, there's a lot of hobos, obviously, because it's just like a big city. But yeah, it's really not that crazy. Everyone's kind of quiet and like laid back here is the main thing. So I've been enjoying it. It's been fun. Miss everyone though. That's like the big thing. It's like missing all the friends. But
Yeah.
like it's so easy to keep in contact with people. Like I get to do this podcast with everyone that I've done it with. I played games with Nick a few times on the computer, and I played games with Brandon occasionally on Xbox One. So I mean, I've been able to stay like fairly in touch. I'd like the fact that we got to play a board game even was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah. Gabe, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
In the making of this podcast, was getting the chance to see your friends again, was that like one of the main reasons why you made it, or was there like a bigger reason?
That is kind of a reason. That was a thing. The big thing, and I've touched on this every single video, and every time I touch on it, I'm like, I don't really know when I'm going to quit bringing this up, but I think it's like such a big point, is that like getting to have conversations and really like talk about stuff in like this like level of depth, and like having it presented to people about any range of topics, I think is really important. I think like having this out there, even if only like people in PCB and like the friends I have in Portland ever listen to it, like just getting to engage and stuff like that. Because how many times have you guys really been like really talked to about like the music and like that level, like really people trying to like dig and see what like is going on and what the moving parts are and stuff?
Very small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than some people at shows and things like that, different bands that we play with.
The guys from Sumerian, when we played, we did a Sumerian Records Battle of the Bands back.
That was awesome.
Back in like March, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was March. We after the show, we got to talk to their like Sumerian Records reps, and they, asked us a bunch of like intense questions just to see like if we were something that they want to come out and play, and that was really like valuable. They gave us a lot of really solid points. But that was probably like the first, if not the only time that we've been that intensely
And like
this intensely.
yeah.
Had to think about it at that level. Actually, had to think about like our motivations behind things and how we went about actually like physically going about making music.
Yeah.
because it's really hard to put in words the
Yeah.
process of doing it. That.
Yeah, for sure. And that was like when I first started it, I was like, I want to talk to people who are creative and stuff, and I want to talk to them about the creative process. of just like thinking and creating something new, and like talk about that, like share the creative process with people who might be creative and like wonder in their mind, like, am I like engaging in my like artistic pursuit in the right way? Am I engaging in my passions the right way and stuff like that? And then in the Noah talk, he mentioned a thing about like getting an interview for Apple, and that just like went into a whole spiel about like um just like the way marketing works and religion and stuff like that. And we touched on like psychedelic thinking and things like that. And I was like, maybe I just like having people talk about like their thought processes in general. And like, I want to hear about things that sometimes I, in not a formal setting, wouldn't get asked, because like in a normal social interaction, like there's usually something else going on. Like even if you're sitting down and talking to people, unless like you were like, we're going to sit down and we're just going to talk and like discuss and debate these things, I mean, it veers away from stuff. And so I was like, if I just keep having people on and having new people on and having like new combinations of people that have been on before, and just like really beforehand saying, this is sort of what I want to talk about. I want to see like how they think about it, and all the like things that come off of that and like grow off of that are also telling me things about how they feel about like this sort of thing. And like people listening to it might learn some new things. Like I'm sure from the Wikipedia game, someone's going to learn a trivia that might help them one day, like win a radio contest or something, or just like maybe incite them to like go and look up some Wikipedia articles, because there's a lot of really cool stuff on Wikipedia. But yeah, just like I think that having like this discourse and conversation like leads to a lot of growth for me. Like I am really able to empathize with a lot more experiences that I might not necessarily have for myself. And I think for the people listening and for the people involved in it, like it has that sort of effect too. And so that's more where it was going. But when I kept like having friends on, because I've been like trying to reach out to people, and some people are, well, I'm working on scheduling and just getting them on the show. I realized that like the benefit of just getting to talk to my friends like this again, like as if I were there and we were just hanging out for an extended period of time, was a really good big benefit. So I thank you a lot for asking that.
Yeah, that was a great answer. That was exactly what I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't know about the Sumerian records thing. I definitely would have asked about that. Where was that at?
It was at A&M. It was at A&M
at the
Theater. Yeah, we got invited to go play on it, and it was basically like kind of like a preliminary round. Like if they were impressed with what you see, they would kind of put you in the running with a couple of other bands from across like the span of, I want to say, like a couple of states.
Yeah,
like the south, like the southeast, and then if you were one of the best, like one of the bands that they chose, you'd get to go play at like either
Headbang,
Summer Slaughter or
Headbang for the Highway.
All Stars.
All Stars, yeah. Headbang for the Highway is the name of the.
Headbang for the Highway was the name of the show, and then, but that was actually just a good experience, because like some of the bands we met playing that show were just amazing, like great guys out there. Like, it was fun.
Because Sumerian's based out of South Carolina, right? Or are they even more south than that?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it's around there.
Yeah. Circa's on that one, right? Circa's on it.
Circa's on there.
Sean's on it.
It's a lot of. Yeah, Sean just got on it. It's a lot of metal bands, like Born of Osiris is on there.
Yeah.
Animals as Leaders is there. And then even like some of the solo acts that come from those bands is on there. But Sumerian and Equal Vision are the two big labels I really listen to any bands that come off of.
Yeah.
That aren't just independent bands. So it was really cool getting to play for people who are representatives of Sumerian and get that feedback from them, because the most feedback we've ever gotten was hey, good show, like the set sort of. just very constructive. Well, they actually, they told us, where our strong points were and where were the things we could build to become better. So, that was great actually getting to do that.
Well, what were some of the things like that they said? Like, because obviously these are people who like manage people that you like look up to or like interact in a creative process on some level with people that you look up to. Well,
a big thing we've gotten with a lot of any review we've gotten outside of, just people at our shows that are just, they're just to casually listen to music, is, that we do have very creative, songwriting, and the way it meshes is interesting, and that, and being where we are, and where, what, that Headbang for the Highway is all about, the heavier bands are probably going to win just because what Sumerian puts on is, more of a heavy, and the Summer Slaughter tour and the All Stars tour are a little bit heavy, kind of the style we play. But like big things we got, were, just building on, just musicality things like, dynamics, just things that can make the impact points in the music a lot heavier. But, it was great to talk to them because, they liked a lot of the stuff they did. They said we were very fresh for the scene, and that they didn't really get to see a lot of, things like ours. And I mean, you guys can talk about more on that.
Mostly just like working on fundamentals, honestly.
Yeah.
And honing like our abilities as musicians individually. That's just honestly. I mean, as far as what we're working on right now, it's just a lot of trying to get better. I mean, it's working on everything by yourself. I mean, like me sitting at home and practicing every day, trying to get better. Clean up this lick, clean up that lick. Start practicing with metronome, stuff like that. Which is like for any musician, like the best thing I've ever seen to do is to sit down with whatever you're playing, with just a metronome, just clicking for ever, because then eventually you're going to start being able to internalize the beat a lot better and like handle stuff. And then also like we're starting to work in the like realm of adding backup vocals, because that was something that we talked about a lot with the first album, but we never actually ended up doing it.
That reminds me with the first album there, because I wanted to ask about this. There is a song where Logan's singing very clean vocals, and then someone, I don't know if it's Logan, like digitally distorted. Oh, okay. So
he's screaming. He's actually screaming. It's him doing it. It was just it's two recordings of him.
Okay. So when you
but
guys
right now
do that,
when we play it live now, me and Sailor sing a harmony on the clean part, and then Logan does the screams, and then we're probably going to work out some stuff like that. And then we started doing like a vocal harmony and Alone Amongst Friends between me and Logan. But we're probably going to do some more stuff like that on the new album, and might also experiment with, on a song, another one of us singing like the main vocal part.
Yeah. So you're definitely
just to
trying to
like,
develop more layers and stuff to it.
Yeah, we're trying to add more, like, we can add layers in instruments all day, but what's going to attract a lot of people is adding more layers vocally, and also honing the vocal sound.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of people, that's, like, the most important part.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with vocals, it's very hard, because, like, with guitar, we have, not the best gear in the world, but we do have a good amount of it to be able to shape our tone and kind of get...
Yeah. You can throw an EQ in there and shift stuff until
and get what we need.
Right.
But with vocals, you gotta get a really, really good track with that, or you've got to really work on that, because it's all natural. You can't really synthesize that in a rock live setting.
Yeah.
So that's one that we really do have to work on is
and that's something that we've never been formally trained how to do. I mean, with instrumentation, like, we could all sit down and with, like, YouTube or with a book and read through, notation or watch someone give a lesson. But when you start to do that with vocals, you can't really tell, because of the fact that no matter how you listen to yourself sing, I mean, unless you're using microphones, and stuff like that. You have to always have the electronic equipment there because you can't always tell how your voice sounds. Like right now, when I go back to listen to this recording later, I'm going to be like, oh my god, my voice sounds so weird, because that's just a natural response. But at the same time, like if Logan wants to sit at home and practice vocals, it's kind of hard to really make fun adjustments without having something to play back.
Yeah.
So that's what we're having to figure out, is how to be able to sit there with vocal parts and being able to go back and be like, okay, I want to tweak this, and then that's not even the tweaking that you do has to be done in such a different way, because on a guitar it's a little sharp. Okay, I'm going to tweak this. If I'm singing sharp, I have to sit and figure out how do I manipulate my vocal cords, which I can't see or technically even really feel.
Yeah.
Make minute adjustments to get the tone and the volume and all that stuff out that we want. So
Yeah.
it's something that we're definitely having to learn the way but I think just with some time it's better. Also, the fact that we have to we're bringing in Chase soon. It'll give us time, like while he's transitioning in and getting comfortable with playing with the guys. It'll give everyone else time to really hone stuff while he's learning. They can also be getting better, and I feel like it's gonna be really good once it ends up with its final product, especially with the new album being done and being able to take our time recording.
Yeah. So are we gonna at any point see the like prog rock? I don't know. I don't really know what it's called when they do it, but when they do the big sweeping instrumental 15-minute piece, is that ever gonna happen?
It's something that might happen. That is definitely a possibility. A lot of the challenges that come along with writing some longer pieces, because something that we're noticing with some more newer stuff is that since we're thinking about it on a more technical level, like we're thinking of it as parts, as individual parts forming the whole. When we start thinking about it like that, the songs are getting shorter. So like the songs that we've written so far are like, on average like
3 minutes long, maybe,
or 3 or 4 minutes long, as opposed to like the 5 or so minutes long songs on the second album, where it was more of just, I like this groove that we're playing in, let's play it for a long time. And you start thinking of it as in, okay, I want to do this many bars of this progression and then transfer to something new. The more technically we start thinking about it, the shorter the pieces are getting.
Yeah.
But we're also more happy with the product that we're getting. We're getting more intricate and more interesting just melodies, rhythms, harmonies, all kinds of crazy stuff. So if something were to come along that we decided to write that was, verging on that 10 to 15 minute mark, it would be definitely something, I guess the best word would be like epic, something big.
Yeah, cinematic.
Definitely cinematic. We've got some definitely good ideas, including like the album that we're working on right now. We have a kind of like a theme that occurs
like a motif.
throughout the album.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I've been saying. Like a motif, like it's actually, if you listen to the album, the very last melody that you hear on the entire album, it's kind of after the end of Alone Amongst Friends is going to be like our motif for the entire album. So it kind of ties them both together.
Yeah.
In a way, so it kind of makes it so Alone Amongst Friends is kind of like the first look.
Yeah, into that.
Yeah.
So is Alone Amongst Friends, other than in the motif format, going to make some sort of appearance on the new album, or like in a restructured way, or no?
Probably not. Probably not in an actual like fully formed like sort of way, but possibly in a way that it would be kind of like if you ever listened to any of the first like 3 Coheed Cambria albums, so they'll be like in the song 2113 on the end of In Keeping Secrets of 703, you'll hear this motif from their first album.
Yeah.
I could see something like that possibly happening in one part of a later song on the album, on this new album, for instance. But I really don't know. We there are still 2 tracks that we haven't
Fully
fleshed out yet. So those are completely open to our decision and interpretation. So it could happen.
Is the album, the new album, going to be musically continuous? Is it going to, like, are tracks going to link up a little bit more so that they play into each other, or no?
Well, the thing of this album is that it's a lot more experimental, I'd say.
Yeah.
Especially melodically, because we do have a lot of different themes. We're starting to think about the things that we thought about when we were recording this one. We were like, okay, we've got, Wesley is vastly well versed as far as rhythm and style, so we were thinking, well, how can we harness that aspect of it? So, like Sailor was saying earlier, we'll have songs on the album that are they'll have Latin backbeats and the drums to complement and kind of augment the styles that we would normally play the songs in, where as opposed to we just have a rock backbeat through the whole thing, it's just going to let the guitar determine what the feel and the flow of the song, as opposed to giving more control to the rhythm section.
Yeah.
But what's definitely going to tie things together is, of course, the story aspect of it, but also the fact that all of the ideas and themes in each song are going to be tied together. Hi, Gilly. And it's definitely going to make it more contiguous than the last one. And also the fact that when we were talking about doing electronic stuff, when we say doing electronic work, we think of it as a transitionary tool from song to song. Whereas, at the end of a song, we might have, a lot of, right now we'll have a decaying sound, like the volume just kind of drops off, but something else might pick up to transition to the next song. And also doing an intro and outro of the album to where it's kind of that introduction of the idea when it comes in and the album starts, and then at the very end we have, kind of a resolution into a completion of the story and a melodic resolution as far as the album as a whole.
Okay.
So in its individual pieces, it's not going to be as uniform as the first one. As a whole, it's going to be more meshed and more
cohesive and complementary and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's gonna be really cool. Are you guys gonna announce the name soon for it, or has it already been announced? I missed it.
I feel like once we get all of the tracks named and we solidify, because we have some track names that we have for a few of the songs, but we haven't solidified that. Once we do that, we'll definitely come up with the album name and get that out there.
Yeah.
We're still looking for some people to do art for us.
Yeah, and we're still looking for artists to do work, because we have ideas for our new, because we want to come up with our logo that we've been working on. We just need someone to draft it, and then we also need to find someone album art and some t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
But once we get all this stuff out, we'll definitely get the info out there as soon as we can.
Who did the Illusions cover? Because that was pretty good.
His name's Phil
Orvis. He goes he's a art.
He's in the art school at Gulf Coast down here with us. Some of our friends knew him, and we got him to do it. And he did a really, really good job of the art. So especially being there wasn't a huge theme to the album.
Yeah.
A story like there is this album. What's hard with art with us is none of us are really artistic in that way. We're artistic and
we're not visual artists in any way.
We hear our art more than we would, think. I have a really awful time of, visualizing anything really.
Most for our, we have an idea of certain things that we'd like to incorporate into our designs. We have a geometric idea for our logo, and then for the art on the album, we haven't really discussed it yet because we haven't solidified the the name, because of course the name's going to have a huge impact on what art actually is.
Yeah.
But once we figure it out, it'll just be a matter of finding an artist. We're currently start looking at like art students that we know, people that do stuff like that for a living, just anything that we can find to
help out.
Just get a good, get a good help, get some good help out, and definitely come up with something that will be more that we will definitely be satisfied with. Putting on something that we put a lot of work into.
Okay. Just because you guys mentioned that you weren't really visual artists, so is projections ever going to have a projection behind them, or like the light show to it? Or...
Yes. Like Bearded Clan, we had.
Yeah. Oh yeah, actually.
Freddy versus Jason played.
Yeah, actually,
that was funny.
we played at a venue called the Bearded Clam down here. It's called the Clam Jam.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we played, and it's a bar, so they had this projection on the stage,
Like a TV.
like it was just like playing TV.
Okay.
And while we were playing, like Freddy versus Jason was on.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that kind of would go, I think, with it. Like, I mean, it would be a good like visual impact to some of the heavier parts on the house.
It was kind of funny, but that's definitely a road to explore. When I can really only think of 2 shows I've been to where like some sort of like projection in the back was played. When I saw Scaleless Summit, they had videos to all their songs going on, and each video they played had something to do with that song, or the song name, whatever they're trying to do. They're instrumental, so that was neat. And then when me and Wesley went and saw Rush, there was a huge production with that, and they had all these really, really silly videos going on. Like in Roll the Bone, there's a spoken word part to it, and they had all these celebrities playing. Like Peter Dinklage was in it. Paul Rudd and Jason Segel were in it because of the movie I Love You, Man.
Yeah.
And then the dudes from Trailer Park Boys were there too, and I forget who else. But it was interesting getting to see all that.
Yeah. I think
but
the reason I asked is because I've seen so many artists with like the projection thing going on that, like, to me that's like part of the live experience. But
yeah, it is an easy thing. It's just a lot of the venues we play at, are a lot smaller scale, and you just haven't put the work in that area yet because we've been so focused on getting our musical aspects figured out.
Yeah.
But the thing about this album being more conceptual and having an overriding theme and idea and a story behind it, definitely putting more time. Like once the music's done, obviously putting more time into the art. There are more. There's more obvious things to draw from.
Yeah.
You can go. I mean, going even literal, like what's actually happening in the story, you can definitely use to make visuals.
Yeah.
And that would be something easy to turn into like a slideshow to play behind us, or just like just having like images behind us would be a nice just moments touch.
Yeah.
And but again, that's all just a matter of finding an artist to work with.
It's a process within a process. Yeah. So we're about at time. Is there any things that you guys want to add and finalize, talk about before we cut it?
I can't think of anything. Just
keep an eye out.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been really, really fun. Getting to sit here and talk in kind of an interview format. We've never really done this, so thank you for that.
Yeah, and just keep an eye out for anything new that we come out with. We're working hard to put something out.
How do you want people to keep an eye on you? I know you guys have a Facebook. Do you have a Twitter that you use or anything like that?
Facebook is the one we keep up with the most. We have an Instagram too. I'm thinking too, maybe there's a few other tracks we have that we did some live stuff from the last album on the
YouTube page and stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we did a recording with my college class not long ago at the college studio. But we're just trying to decide if we really want to release those because it was kind of when we got there, they didn't really have a drum set for us to use, so the drum sounds a little weird.
Yeah.
And And there was
Everybody
like
was-
two
everybody was on their
people
own.
that showed up for that class that day, and it was very interesting.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that was an experience. But and I'm really thinking about too when we do this because we have some scratch ready to go, ready to start recording. Some of the songs are more solidified. Maybe releasing them as some singles.
Yeah.
Here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
So just Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Twitter.
Yeah, we do have a Twitter.
you do have a Twitter. You're gonna need
Yeah.
you're gonna need to link me the Twitter and the Instagram so I can put it with the video.
Yeah, we'll send you
Okay.
all the links.
Yeah.
We have an EPK too.
Okay.
So I'll just send you everything we've got on online. You can do with it whatever you would like.
Yeah, definitely. People should click on those links that are going to be with this video and on the iTunes page and check these people out because Projections is a really good band and they've put out some really good stuff. Even with it just being the first album, like it or first EP actually, is already showing like a lot of promising like stuff. I think that like especially now that you're moving into more conceptual stuff or at least more cohesive stuff, I'm definitely going to keep my eye out for that album because that'll be a really cool thing to like listen to and experience, especially like to hear like a story with it that you guys have created.
Awesome.
Yep. Well, thank you for being with me, Projections. Logan, Paige, Wesley, Chase, who's asleep, I think. Salem. You guys were great to have on the show. I hope to have you back probably when the new album comes out and I've got a chance to listen to it. Is there any time that people should expect it, kind of like within the year, or not that time frame yet?
Really, just we have no set date on our mind really, because like I said, we're not trying to rush it to any sort of date. So whenever it gets done, and we'll be working on it hard, and we'll try to get it out as soon as we can.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Thank you guys again for being here, and thank you everyone for listening in. Definitely check out their Bandcamp. Donate some money to them if you really like that music. If you think these are cool dudes, do that. They would definitely appreciate it. I mean, it was just a good random select. They always are. If anyone would like to join in, tweet at me at Rndmselect on Twitter. That's at Rndmselect. Thank you all for listening. See you later.
Now?
Thank you.